287-0971 or Rev-Up office numbers are 572-0383 and 572-0215. Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
Time now for Meet the Minister.
Welcome to Meet the Minister, your inside look at government in action. Tune in every Friday at 10 a.m. on Rev-Up St. Lucia 97.1 FM for Meet the Minister, a powerful 60-minute conversation with a minister from the SLP government hosted by Jerry Fenelon. Get first-hand insights into the government's policies, programs, and progress as we discuss the issues that matter to you. Stay informed, stay engaged. That's Meet the Minister with Jerry Fenelon, Fridays at 10 a.m. only on Rev-Up St. Lucia 97.1 FM.
It's now time for Meet the Minister, hosted by Terence Fenelon. Terence, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Brother Andre, and to your listeners on all platforms, Facebook, YouTube, X, and especially Soufrière.
Oh yeah,
So I know the whole of Soufrière is tuned in on whatever platform, I suspect Facebook and YouTube, some in the radio, because we have a special guest, the Honorable Emma Hippolyte. Well, more affectionately known as Auntie Emma. It's my pleasure to have you, Honorable. Again, that's your second rodeo.
My
second rodeo, and it's an absolute pleasure. The glasses and the jacket match. Sing, yeah.
Good morning, St. Lucia. First, I need to thank you, Brother Fenelon, to have me again.
Yes.
I need to thank Andre for allowing us to use his space.
You're welcome, Mr. Hippolyte. And somebody called earlier this morning to wish you a happy birthday in advance. They said that your birthday is on the 19th.
That's
Is that correct?
correct.
All right.
Today's what? I have no idea.
15th. Today's the 15th.
The 15th one?
Yeah.
That's what happens, That's what happens when you retire.
Yeah, man, I do. I have no
You don't
idea.
know what's going on.
I have no idea. I just know I have to be here in the morning and stuff, and it's wonderful to be here. Andre is always happy to see us,
Of course.
And Andre, let me just clarify for your viewers, because they think that you are part of the program because they see you on TV. Andre is not part of Meet the Minister. Yeah, allow him to ask a little question now and then, because Andre's a nice guy. I cannot get vexed with Andre. But Andre's main role is to monitor the telephones and stuff. He's just a bystander. But as anything else, he's a gracious host. We love him, Andre. And he interjects, sometimes throw me off my,
your train of thought.
But that's all in good jest, and that's all in good fun. There's nothing to it. There's nothing. So, Andre, we're happy to have you here again. And today we're going to be discussing that and a lot of stuff. But before we do that, Honorable, I think there's an article I think I want to refer to, because I want to thank Mr. Titus Privel. It's not often you must praise your opponent. You get to praise your opponent. But when your opponent speaks the truth, Andre, that says it all. You understand? The world would decide whether you are good or not, Andre. Even your critics would respect you. You understand? Those who say, boy, one thing about Andre, boy, Andre is tight, and Andre is this. They may not like you, but they'll speak the truth. And when people speak the truth, we have to say, hallelujah, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. And Mr. Titus Privel, I'm so happy that you're able to speak the truth. Titus is able to categorize the leader of the opposition vis-a-vis the Prime Minister. And he said in no uncertain terms, he was very clear that the leader of the opposition is very spontaneous. In other words, he does things on the spur of the moment without thinking of the consequences. And he was reckless. That is a matter of fact. And he said the Prime Minister, he worked with both, is measured. You know what I mean? He goes along, and stuff. And Andre, Titus is not very far off, because as I've just sent to the minister, I know she's very busy, but we have a writer from the Commonwealth desk, and I'm just going to use excerpts of that, and I'm going to allow the minister to elaborate, because it is the good work of the Prime Minister, his steady hand, his prudent management of the economy. You understand? His wisdom, and backed up by, let me sound your praise, because Honorable Emma Hippolyte is no fly-by-night person, That's a very experienced, qualified, certified individual, worked internationally in international organizations. So I know when they meet in cabinet, you understand, the heavy discussion. So let me just take 2 minutes because producer, I know that's my time. The beauty of the majestic Piton Mountains, vibrant culture, dazzling beaches, and the lush landscape of St. Lucia. That's your home,
That's my
homeland. Invaluable assets. The country also takes pride in having 2 Nobel laureates, which is remarkable for a population of just over 180,000. However, as is true for many small island developing states in the Caribbean, the picture of economic stability is not as rosy. Note that. In 2020, the country's public debt to GDP ratio was over 90%. In other words, Andre, we were sinking and sinking fast, due in part to the effects of the coronavirus pandemic, but we were sinking before that. The country was broke before that. And by 2024, you know who's in power? The Honorable Philip J. Pierre, backed up by men and women of substance in the cabinet. That ratio of over 90%, heading to 100%. You understand, Andre? Meaning nearly every dollar we collected, we had to spend it on debt servicing. That ratio was reduced to 74.5.
Significant drop.
I mean, that is a significant drop. This dramatic reduction freed up funds. You know, these days we don't have Madipwete. That has escaped our lexicon. Has freed up funds which can now be invested in projects that spur growth and enrich the lives of St. Lucians. For St. Lucia, prudent, listen to the words used. Titus, thank you. Prudent debt management is proven to be a powerful catalyst for growth and shared responsibility and shared prosperity. Listen to how they're describing our Prime Minister, and his cabinet. Prudent. Titus said measured. You understand, Andre? I'm not taking that out of the air. Fact. Prudent debt management. That's the Prime Minister. He's measured. The government is taking even bolder steps for fiscal stability with technical support from the Commonwealth Secretariat. Now it goes on to discuss. Andre, what it is saying there is that St. Lucia is in indeed safe hands with the Honorable Prime Minister and the men and women in the cabinet. So when we had the nonsense, so I'll turn it over. Honorable, you are part of that cabinet. You're reading that from the Commonwealth Secretariat, saying how, they're impressed with how our country is managing that and how, we're sailing those rough waters and we are putting it fair Helen back on stream. What are your thoughts?
Thank you. Before I answer, I really want to hail my constituent.
Yes, do that.
Before they knock me out. I want to thank them for being ever present and their cooperation in terms of working with me.
Yes.
My Foshajak people, my Balance Drive people, my Palmis people, people from the town center, my constituency groups, the work we are doing, our young people, our teachers, our policemen, our nurses, all of us working together to transform Soufrière Foshajak. The men and women in my Soufrière Regional Development Foundation, which is a very powerful institution in St. Lucia, in Soufrière, and in St. Lucia. One that has a structure that other constituents could emulate and to develop the assets that we have.
Yes.
And I'm saying all of that based on what you've just raised.
That's right,
there.
yes.
We need to look at the structures we have within our communities, within our country, and then see how we can strengthen that. And you are correct, and it's not you saying it.
It's not me.
That is what it's important.
Yes.
It is being said by independent persons who have come in and looked at the performance of our country, and they're assessing the performance of our Prime Minister as a Minister for Finance, very measured, one that has the experience. And when I say to the Prime Minister in the cabinet, that's what comes in. He has compassion, he has the experience, he understands the economics of things, he understands the figures, and you rightly said it, you have men and women that provide him that support. We have experienced persons on that team, and our focus remains the same. putting the people of St. Lucia first. So
yes.
every decision that we make, when we discuss it, and sometimes we spend a lot of time, and even sometimes afterwards, after the discussion, sometimes the Prime Minister has sort of commended us. Things that we think that we can just take a minute to do.
Yeah.
We spend significant time in discussing it, in analyzing the impact, especially some of the economic issues, but as well as the social issues, and how it impacts. When you're thinking of the pensioners, when we're looking at some of the, how do we, when you assess the impact of the living standard of a pensioner who receives $300,
yes.
you really have to do a lot of analysis to make that decision. And you think of not only our pensioners within government, but also within the NIC. So I'm saying so to reassure John Public that you have a team and you have a leader that has the ability, that has the experience, and has the interest of the people. And you have to bring all of that together. It's important that you said so as well, because I want to bring it and make it very practical. And sometimes we being members of a constituency, myself representing a member of a constituency or other constituents, and we have been pressurized by our constituents for a particular project, which is maybe a huge expenditure. And then the Prime Minister has to weigh that in terms of the cash flow coming in. Should we do this now? Should we hold back? That type of analysis is critical to allow us. And he's seen where he sits, he sees the entire country. Sometimes when people sit, they see just their little end of it. And I'm saying that as well. So sometimes we scream that we want to see this today, we want to see this yesterday, we want to see this day before. But you have a team and you have a Prime Minister, you have some of the technical persons that we have. We have Wayne Girard giving support in the Ministry of Finance. You have the PS in the Ministry of Economic Affairs. You have a team. You have senior minister in infrastructure bringing in his experience. You have myself. You have Richard in terms of housing and you have experience. You have Brother Alva working out there in the international community, building relationships. You have Brother Musa all the time in terms of healthcare, working with his team. You have Sean in education. You have a team. You have Alfred in agriculture. You have a team, St. Lucia, that you have to be proud of.
Yes.
And you have Virginia, who is very passionate about gender and law. You have a team, and you have a very experienced Attorney General. You have an experienced team, St. Lucia.
Yeah. So taking that from that over 90
to 70
to 74.5.
Yes, and PM has target. We're trying to get to the 60s,
the prudential limit. Yeah, so that is a fantastic feat, and he has been. You all have been able to reduce that high debt to GDP ratio and still provide all the safety nets and the social programs. I mean, how are you all able to perform that miracle?
I didn't mention Ernest, but Ernest, the work that he does within the investment area, with the tourism sector, bringing the persons, bring the visitors in, and then how we utilize that resource when we get it.
Yes.
How we utilize that resource. So, for example, one of the areas that fuel the amount of money we receive is the issue of VAT.
VAT, yes, and we're coming to that.
And that's what I'm saying. It's the issue of VAT. And then we had to sit down and say, well, what is happening to our cost of goods, how it impacts our people, have all of what is happening there, 95% is imported inflation, and how as a government we can put that together and sit down and say, okay, what are the measures that we can put in place as a government? What is within our control to contain this inflation, to ensure that persons can have something at the table?
So for those listeners who are interested, we are not making that up. If you want the article, I can make it available to Andre. It's from the Commonwealth desk, and you could read for yourself. But I suspect that's where because Titus worked at the CARICOM
But you also remembered we had also very good reviews from the ECCB,
yes.
And then the opposition got upset.
Yes, because they don't like to hear good news.
Yes.
So Titus must have seen that at the CARICOM secretariat. So he knew. So he had to speak the truth, and he had to say yes. The Prime Minister now, Philip J.P., prudent, he's measured, and he takes things, he does things with thinking down the line about that. Yeah, we don't just do things willy-nilly.
No.
You understand? He does things, he counts the cost before he implements. Yes. He doesn't do things on a whim. He's not spontaneous.
We also have a responsibility for our youth.
That's right. Right.
And we need to ensure that the platform that we set now, there are a lot of things we have to do.
Correct.
The platform that we think now, that they can build on it when they come in.
That's right. So, I mean, there's a lot that we can discuss and a lot to be happy about.
Yeah.
Because we've seen the benefits and the fruits of, the fruit now is the young people, etc. But the vexing issue, well, not very vexing, because from the time we heard of the tariffs, the Prime Minister, very perspicacious, he put a team in place. You headed that team, and I think you did give a report. Yes.
Yes, and maybe in hailing as well, I ought to hail the staff at the Ministry of Commerce.
Yes.
Because I don't do it alone. I have a technical team at the Ministry of Commerce, at the St. Lucia Bureau of Standard, at Export St. Lucia, all of us working together at the Free Zone, all working together to ensure that we serve the business community and the consumers.
That's right.
And it's a unique position that we have at the Ministry of Commerce.
Right.
We are serving both parties, the business community and the consumers.
And you'll have a nice synergy.
We
with
have
the
a
business
nice synergy.
Yes.
I mean, only this week, Monday evening, we had the session with the National Consumers Association to explain to them what is happening, the impact of what is there, to listen to them, their own experiences as they shop, to share that with us. So we share. In fact, they are actually putting together a database that is going to link all the various agencies where the consumer can call for any complaints.
Right.
So we are working close together, and I appreciate the work that is being done by the National Consumers Association.
Right.
I want to take this moment to encourage John Public to join the association, because
that's our business.
You have strength. It's your business, and you have strength in numbers.
Correct. Now, I know that one of the first things that the government did was to remove the 6% service charge on
items that were on the price control.
On the price control.
Yes.
So to assist. And now we have gone further now. We have 70
heads, which is going to almost 174 items.
Ooh.
Yes.
VAT exempt and zero rated?
VAT exempt and zero rated.
Now, I think the public needs to understand the difference between VAT exempt and, because it's causing, well, for me, I go to the supermarket, I don't pay VAT, so I don't care. You understand? You understand? So, but for people, they hear the terms zero rated, VAT exempt, and they use it interchangeably. But I think it has implications for the
you have items that were, before this round, we had items that were VAT exempt.
Yeah.
Now, when it is VAT exempt, the consumer, the purchaser, do not pay the VAT.
All right.
However, the business person, the business do not have an opportunity to claim the VAT that is related to that expense. Okay?
Yeah.
So in the business person would pay, let us say they are renting this place here to provide the service.
Yes.
And the items that are VAT exempt. So they cannot charge the consumer the VAT, but they would have had to pay the VAT on the rent of that building.
Okay.
That's it.
Yes.
So the business is incurring VAT.
Yes.
To sell that item. That's it. That's when you're VAT exempt.
Right.
When you're zero rated, in both cases, the businesses have an opportunity to claim their VAT now. So there is no costs. That expense, because they can claim it back from government.
Okay.
That was the difference.
Right.
And as well, the consumer does not pay the VAT as well.
Well, okay. So
you can say in zero rated, the business don't pay VAT, the consumer don't pay VAT. Right. With the exempt, the consumer don't pay, but the business pays. That's the difference between the two.
All right.
So why is it important for us to make that difference? Because I think some persons would have gone onto the supermarket, if you listen over the radio and so on. Some people say, well, I still have not seen a reduction in. They pick up any item,
right?
And they say, I still have not seen a reduction. That's some of the comments we are hearing, and we are saying you have 170 items, but that is not all the items that is carried in the supermarket.
Right.
That's one important point.
Right.
So you need to use the items that we identified, and then go and see whether these items have a reduction.
Right.
Now, these items here, and I have a list in here. And when we did our approach, we went first to the major supplier of food. Our strategy was we dealing with massive stores first.
Yeah, that's the
because it is the
giant.
The giant. They retail. They also wholesale, and they are also in most of the communities. So we dealt with them first, and then we are also dealing with the other supermarkets as well. Now, I want to differentiate two things. The items that are VAT exempt, the reduction on these items is a lot less than the items that had VAT of 12.5% that we have now brought into zero. And as a teacher, you'd understand why this is so. You understand that, Andre?
I'm listening.
You understand? Because if you have an item that had 12.5% VAT and we are now bringing it to zero, so the reduction is almost the 12.5% when you do the math, right? Yeah. Whereas with the item that is exempt, and one of these items is something like tuna fish, for example. It is an item that is consumed by
everybody.
Yes. But it was already exempt.
Meaning it doesn't attract VAT. So it means it's exempt.
Exempt means it did not have the VAT before. So I guess people would go into the supermarket and expect a huge drop now. But it was already exempt
from,
Yeah. We are working with the business community to see what that reduction will be. We are still working on that. What we have focused on are the items that had the 12.5%, and we have now brought it to zero. That is where we are focusing now. That's where we are focusing now. And I can tell you, when you look at the list, we have items.
So your officers have gone to the places and they have...
My officers have gone to the places. And I want to also say that we have persons from the various communities who took on their own to start monitoring prices. And they are sharing with us.
Watching the pockets.
They're watching.
Watching the bread.
And that is what it is when you have public education. And the public is conscious of what you're doing. I had a gentleman from Babono, and he was already collecting that data from January.
Okay.
Yeah, he's collecting the data and he's sharing. He's sharing. He's working with our ministry. So I picked up a sheet of paper there. Baking powder, 61.95. Now it is 55.07. So that's dropped. The yeast, for example, that's what people doing the bread. $21 is now $18.67. The Cricks biscuit that people always buy, it was $2.50. Is now $2.22. We have something olive oil there, $11.85. Is now $10.53. Ketchup, that's one ketchup there. It was $19.95. It's now $17.73. Peanut butter, $38.95. It's now $34.62. So there are reductions. Chicken backs, $12.95. It's now $11.51. So there are prices. There are reductions.
So Andre, you could eat free good meals a day now.
Yeah, but what I'm wondering is, Mr. Epele, sorry, how does the government monitor to ensure that this is reflected when we go to the supermarket?
Well, let me tell you what happened. We have a team at a price control section, consumer affairs section. We have a price control section, and they go out. They pick up these items there, and I've told them, don't just look at the price that appears on the shelf. Take a sample of these items and go to the cashier and say, scan that.
Yes.
When I tested it, the first Monday afterwards, 2 weeks ago, I took $200. I gave it to my driver and my secretary. I said, now, this is the SI. Go and shop, picking up the items on this list.
Yeah.
They actually came. They brought me the bill.
Yes.
It was just with green cabinet. I did that. I felt that was the easiest way for me to do it.
Yes.
I looked at the bill, and there were still items that I thought should have been zero. That I picked up about 5 items that needed was not correct adjustment.
Yes.
And I picked up the phone, and I called Mr. Doville at Massey. I said, look, I've just done some shopping. I have a bill. I have items that needs adjusting. And he called me back on Tuesday, and he explained to me what had caused the problem and how they were fixing it.
All right.
And I'm saying so because it's an exercise that we continually we're doing. I went to Soufre supermarket. I took a purchase. I did some things. I've looked at it, and I'm sending it up to my people so we can do the comparison all the time. So we have a team going to Vieux-Fort. We have a team doing Gourmet, Massey Gourmet, all the different branches.
Right.
We cover Massey, and now we are doing the other supermarkets.
But I think it's important to let the people know. In the instance where they were not adjusted, it wasn't anything because of Coco Macacry.
No,
they were just
I think
little
it was,
glitches.
Yes, because don't forget, you have an IT system. They have their own IT system.
Right.
And in fact, he did explain that the system is one that there's some adjusting, or let's say if there's an order that is placed, or if they're refilling, it does something at a particular time in the morning. And it did this throughout all the work that they had done over the weekend.
Right.
So they had to go back again and reset.
That is why we have to be vigilant.
So that is why we have to be vigilant.
Yes,
because you see, it's IT, you dealing with things like that.
Right. So, well, I'm happy for the reductions that you have there. And you said it's a list of 174 items.
174 items, because all the vegetables, peanut butter, different sizes. So you have 70 heads, but it's a lot more items.
A lot more items. So for the public, it's not just 70. It's about 174 items that have fat.
And as we doing the monitoring there, we picked up a few things that we believe needs adjusting.
Yes, there will be.
We'll take it to the cabinet.
Yes.
And then we will inform the public at the right time.
Yeah, I know the callers on the list. Well, the listeners particularly. Some of them are anxious, and they have. I have listened to some of the talk shows, and they are saying that they have not seen adjustments. But I personally have seen 1 or 2 areas where the price
has dropped.
I shop all the time. Yeah, well, I'll leave that to the callers to call. Let's move on to something else. Let's move to your constituency, because the last time you were here, we never got to touch Soufre. The only thing we were able to talk about is about the secret meeting. Let's talk about GPH and the development of the waterfront.
Actually, GPH had they had an official launch on 12th. They were actually in Soufre.
In Soufre?
Yes, they actually showed. Yes, their final. We had. It must have been posted on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah, they came down and showed. And that's not the first time they've come down. They've come down, maybe might be the 5th time.
Right.
But what they showed was what is the final look of the waterfront. Yes, because one of the areas of concern that I had was I didn't want them to be fixing parts there and parts there. And I wanted to see a holistic, what is the waterfront going to look like? Well, yes, there are certain things they are responsible for. There are certain things that the government will be responsible for. But all the things that we feel needed transformation in the waterfront.
Yeah. So
and some of them are even private properties as well. But we showed all of that, and we say they are going to start there. They are going to start with the L jetty. That is a critical jetty for us, because our main jetty is damaged.
Yes.
So the L jetty close to the police station is critical as it relates to the season and tourism first. So that's where they're going to start to do their work. And then we went into the work that we're doing in Barons Drive, because Barons Drive is a community next to the sea at the top. And what are some of the things that we're going to do to transform Barons Drive in particular?
So how soon will they start?
Well, they are everything is now at the DCA, so
because I noticed in the harbour they have started the piling and
that's right.
Work is going on there steadily.
That's right, steadily.
And they're hoping to end that as quickly as possible because
that's right.
And then they'll move to Soufrière.
Especially they might need the equipment there to
do some of the work down in Soufrière.
Yeah, so but I was pleased that we had that launch. So and we had a good number of persons present.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to ask the key questions,
right.
And we'll start.
So
there are areas that do not need DCA approval, so we'll start before.
Is there any resistance from the fisher folk and the fellows who run the cruise boats and stuff?
Actually, no. I think there were some concerns. As you know, the entire bay is a fishing area, a priority fishing area, Soufrière in particular. Yes. And then that is why you have the Soufrière Marine Management Authority. Yes, but in the planning phases, we've had different conversations with them, and they're saying, no, this particular area here, you have to reserve it for fishing and so on. So that was taken care of.
So basically, they have buy-in. They have bought into the project.
Buy-in. In fact, for our boat boys, we've had sessions with them. We've brought in community tourism to work with them to see how best we can improve the level of service that they provide to the visitor, and to see what are the new services, new businesses they can bring in. Your opponent is not asking anybody not to move. Because we are not moving anybody. We are
not to cooperate.
Well, I don't think he's. I really hope he don't go that route.
Yes.
Because that means he would not be in the interest, working in the interest of the people.
All right.
Of Soufrière.
I notice you have on stream an administrative center.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, as you know, we call it the Soufrière Town Hall because it is a building where we used to have a theater, where we used to have dances and things like that, and then it deteriorated. Right. The Soufrière Constituency Council also had their offices there, and the building just deteriorated over time. And now I felt we needed to.
So you have demolished it?
No, they might end up this weekend.
Oh, but it will be demolished.
It will be demolished
and replaced by
a modern building.
Housing
all the various government offices. Yes, so we bring in all the admin services in one space, and we are housing not only government services, but it would also house the mayor's office, the Soufrière Constituency.
So services like passports and
that's right,
birth certificates, driver's licenses.
Yes,
all of these things will be made available.
Health, environmental health, customs, those persons.
So that will be a true administrative
building.
Yeah, so we decentralize the services of government.
One floor for what I would say is entertainment and things like that.
So it's going
to be because in Soufrière we do not have an HRGC, we do not have a space for that.
So all of these services will be housed
in one building.
Wow, wonderful! I guess the people are looking forward to that development. Andre, we're going to open the lines early. That's a promise I made, Minister, because especially the fact I know there are a lot of people with a lot of questions, and we will not shy away from the questions today. You understand? The minister says she has made herself available to be questioned, to answer your queries. I saw somebody talking about NIC. I know that's your baby. NIC just gave another 3.9% increase to pensioners. People figure you are the one who raised the pension age, and they don't understand these things are not said by you. These things are said by actuaries, etc.
Not only said, they need to understand the reason why we increased the age. If we did not increase that,
we'll be bankrupt.
By now you do not have an NIC.
Yeah, it will be bankrupt.
And then, in all fairness, we could not have front load all the benefits to seniors, and then don't pay attention to the young people that are putting the money in there. And now, that's what that is. Now the St. Lucia National Insurance is the strongest in the region.
In the region, as far as I know.
The strongest in the region. And that is the reason why we have to do analysis and make bold decisions. Bold decisions in the interest of all the people.
And I think the ignorance. Now I want to use this word in the correct sense. Lack of knowledge. They don't know what the actuary does. Maybe you want to explain that.
Well, the actuary, for example, you're right. Any decision that we make is not. We don't sit and do it. These are specialized professionals that come in. They take the figures that we have. They take the age expectancy. They take population. They do all types of analysis, and then they tell you where you should be going.
Right.
I mean, the decision to increase the age. I can remember I attended a conference. I mean, I joined the NIC and I attended a conference with the late Augustine Louis in Boston University. And the lady who is the specialist in all this pension thing, Estelle was her name? Estelle James from the World Bank. And she made her presentations and I'm sitting there, I'm listening to all this thing. And after the session, I went to her and I approached her and I asked her opinion of our NIC formula. Because at that time, 10 years, the lady just dismissed me. Unsustainable. She did not take a computer. I never felt so dismissed in my life. And I knew then that I had to come back.
Yes.
And make the right decisions. I went to Dr. Anthony, and that's what it is.
And today now, the Prime Minister is looking at unemployment
that's
benefits.
Right.
That means we are strong, we are healthy.
And that is the time. I remember very clearly when we first started looking at UHC, Dr. Anthony, in all fairness, had also asked us to look at unemployment. Even then. And farmers' pension.
Right.
He gave us this exercise. And we felt at the time that we should focus on universal health care.
Yes.
And then defer the other two because we were not ready for it. But now the economy is better, and that's the time to look at it.
Yeah, so I mean, we need to educate the people because some of them, in the ignorance, I'm not calling you, I'm saying our lack of knowledge. You understand? We don't understand those things, and we just say, and Emma raised age, as though, it is Emma who did that.
But let me just ask
it's scientific, yes, go ahead.
A quick question. When these actuaries come and make these recommendations, like increasing ages and all other
things,
right? Is there any pushback? I mean,
when you say pushback,
in other words, for example, the people at NIC, right? Do they just accept what is recommended?
No, I can remember, Andrea. I'm not sure if you reflect when we made the significant, what I would call the changes that we made. We went apart from us. When you say the people at the NIC also, we meet. The NIC has, all the NICs in the region, they meet, they discuss. They have meetings, regular meetings. We have persons at the NIC with knowledge in statistics. We have now Kalitaran, that's very measured. We had, for example, the late Mr. Snack,
yes,
who was also the mathematician, who was there. So these people collect data all the time and everything else, and we have a system. But when the person, for example, one example, when we had what you call a modified pension, that was a recommendation that was made for us. So instead, after the 65, when we were introducing it, you could not introduce the 65 immediately. You had to do that over 15 years. Remember? Every 3 years. Why? And we were given in the first instance 2 examples of a modified pension. But what caused that? When we got that, we went to the public to say this is what we got from the actuary. This is the recommendation. There was only one person who wrote back. The public sometimes don't pay attention.
Yes, that's true.
The late Deacon Taylor was the only person who wrote back to say, I don't want to wait until 65 to get my pension. I took this single letter and I went back to the actuary and say, give us an option in case the person do not want to wait until 65, but the person have contributed enough. And then they gave us 2 options in terms of the modified pension, how to compute it. And in the end, we use one. And that is why persons can take a pension at age 60, as long as you've made your 180 months contribution, which is 15 years, 180 months. A person can get. So I'm just saying, we are open to hearing, we're open to seeing what is happening.
You spoke about the development in Soufriere. Beautiful. But to me, you haven't mentioned anything about the potential for employment for Soufrierians.
Oh, How you mean?
So what is it that will be available
what
for?
You mean, Andrew? For example, as I said, when we're the development of Barron's Drive, for example, the approach we've taken, apart from the physical work to take place, we have walked to every existing business in Barron's Drive. We have looked with the Community Tourism Authority to see how best we transform, upgrade. So they'll be upgraded physically as well as training, service providing. We've looked at the boys that are there and say, how many of them, for example, are we going to be sustainable with 15 boat boys operating as a business with the boats? And if we have 30 boys, what are the other boys going to do? We have identified other jobs for them. We are working with the youth economy to see how we give them seed money. All of that.
Yeah.
So it's an improvement. It's people development.
Yes.
Now you mentioned the late Deacon Taylor. Well, I noticed his daughter-in-law is listening, so she'll be very happy to know that her father-in-law was very instrumental in NIC to change
have a modified pension at age 60.
Andre, you could give the phone numbers now, please.
No problem. The fixed line is 572-9710, fixed line 572-9710, or you can WhatsApp 287-0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971. Again, the fixed line is 572-9710. That's the fixed line. Or the WhatsApp platform, it is 287-0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971. So we're waiting for your calls.
Okay, no calls yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Well, Andre, since you want to know about employment, maybe Honorable Emma Hippolyte might organize a little boat tour for us down.
Why not? On old school party.
That means I'll have to overnight those forever. You're watching your dollars.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but Andre, sorry, but
go ahead.
we know there's a lot happening in Soufrière.
Okay, you have a call.
Oh, we have a caller. All right, you need your headphones.
Go ahead.
So you need to put your headphones. Caller, just give me a minute. Let me dress myself properly so that I can
And this is Meet the Minister.
Yes. Just now, Andre, your headphones. Oh, Andre, we'll have to buy headphones for you.
Why not?
All right. Good morning, caller. Thanks for calling Meet the Minister. Let us have your question, please.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
To Andrew Paul and to the Minister and to Mr. Funeral.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thanks for calling.
Madam Minister, I
Yes,
noticed you are sending your people out to the big supermarket, but you are aware that there are a lot of little shops blocking the landscape.
Yes,
Yes,
I said that our strategy is first to the larger ones, the giant, then the others, and
I get
then
that.
that's how we are going to do it. Because if we want to have impact, that is how we're going to do it.
I quite agree with that. But I want to inform you that there are still little tea boutiques that are in some remote places. For example, the packet of solar biscuits, the 251s, you see some of them sell for $3 up to now. And I know that's supposed to be 222. So now these people, they buy from the goods vehicles passing around.
Exactly.
Now they're supposed to give them the price to sell the thing. With the reduction of the VAT by 12.5%, automatically that reduction must show itself. So I believe we need to, especially in the outer districts, to find people in the area who know where the shops are and to go to them and shop just like you send the guy to do at Marcy. That's what I have to say for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for your call. Welcome.
You have another call?
We have another caller. Good morning, caller. Thanks for calling me, the Minister. Let's have your call, please.
Hi, good morning.
Yes,
good morning, Andrew. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To the host. Yeah. Question, Auntie Emma. Have you tabled the report you came to Parliament and made about the Soufrière, about the running of the Soufrière board during the last administration? That's number one. I believe you made an announcement stating that you will do an independent audit and the report will be handed over to Cabinet. And my next question is, we have employed an SP, Special Prosecutor. What's the status of this gentleman doing his job? Like, what's an update? There's no update given out to the public. I will listen over the air.
All right, thanks for your question.
Thank you, sir. The first question, yes, I have tabled a report concerning the Super Regional Development Foundation. It has been tabled in Parliament. It is with the Office of the Special Prosecutor. You are asking the second question as to the performance, I suspect, of the Special Prosecutor. As a minister, I cannot report on that at the moment. The Special Prosecutor has a reporting line that is almost different to the cabinet. So this is a special issue that is being addressed by the Attorney General's office and a different line.
All right. Do we have another caller?
Yes.
Oh, the calls are coming in fast and furious. Good morning, caller. Thanks for calling me the minister. Let's have your question, please.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I can't ask Auntie Amma any question, because I'm satisfied with everything she's doing.
Very nice.
I just want to say you cannot find a more caring person than that,
Thank you very much.
You can't find a more caring person. And I could see if it wasn't for maybe I would have been in a worse condition.
Okay.
I just want to tell her, keep up the good work,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thanks for calling me the minister. Let's have your question.
Yeah, good morning, Madam Minister. Good morning.
Good morning.
Comrade Terry. Good morning, Andre.
Morning.
Madam Minister, another question. I called to commend you for explaining to Andre and the public what happened in terms of the increase in the age for the NIC. You gave that story. I talk about snack. Because I've listened to many opinion leaders in the media, especially, chastise you for doing that. But they do not understand it's a process. They don't understand the role of Mr. Snack, the statistician, etc. So I'm glad that today you have explained it. And I'm only hoping and praying that those opinion leaders, especially media practitioners, can now explain to their callers and say, no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened, right? So I'm only praying that those media practitioners, opinion leaders who have heard you and could now explain to the public how that decision came about and why it came about. And like Terry, that they could now boast and say, we've done well, and that's what we can do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. But some media practitioners are not interested in the truth. They're interested in what fits their partisan political narrative. They have to understand, as we're going to explain, Andre, the role of the actuary and the process it takes. It has nothing to do with Honorable Emma just arbitrarily doing anything. Things have to be done scientifically. Now, some people are not interested in that. They just, is a narrative to score political points. And thanks, scholar, for highlighting that.
Now, that may be a good thing, and that is true, but don't you think it's also incumbent upon the NIS to be constantly educating the public on those things? Because there's so much, right, that's the NIC is responsible for. I mean, a typical radio person can't keep everything in their head. So I think the NIC themselves have a responsibility to educate the public. Don't you think so, Mr. Bullitt?
Well, yes, but I also want, you're correct, Andre, but I just want to remind you, when I sat as the director of the National Insurance, we had extensive public education. I think, remember that?
Yes, of course.
We went, it was the first time we used popular theater. We went to places in St. Lucia that I'd never known.
Yeah, mascot, benefit, all kind of things.
We did all this to try to transform, because you're correct. It's a difficult, it's not a sexy subject, and we're trying to make the changes, and we really felt we needed to engage John public. But you're right, they need to continue.
That's right.
Yeah.
And sometimes, Andre, you could make a call, some of us may not be as knowledgeable as, but we have some, insight.
I have, actually.
Yeah. Let's take the call. Yes. Good morning. Thanks for calling me the minister. Let's have your question, please.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning, Madam Minister.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am doing as good as when Raymond taught me how to high jump at St. Mary's College and took me into Abercrombie.
I suspect Raymond might be related to you.
My brother. My deceased brother.
Okay.
That's a brother. That's a brother. He was a vice captain at the time of Abercrombie. And he pulled me right. Yeah, he put me right in. Now the question to you is, and let me put it this way: population decline in St. Lucia has shown. In other words, it's a big major problem at this time.
Yes.
Can you please explain to the population, to the citizens at this time, why it is important that we must maintain a birth rate to help our NIC department to achieve its objective? That's my question. Thank you. I'll listen.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, it is extremely important because, as you know, as we use